I'm Anitha Chirumamilla. I'm the Extension Cropping System Specialist at the Langdon Research Extension Center. Can you guys hear me well? Good. See the presentation? Is it focused? Everything good? All right. Okay. First of all, I want to start this with a question. How many of you had issues with the flea beetles this spring? Really bad. Good. Don't feel shy.
That's a real.
That's a, oh, you mean bad? Bad.
Yeah. Wasn't it bad this year?
Compared to last year,
I think
previous 2 years. Okay. Okay. Good. Last year I was here presenting on the same topic, and I was presenting on the results that we had in the year 2022, and I had a question from the audience, like asking, okay, are the seed treatments work? Right? It's like this question comes up every time. And this year I have at least some answers for you. So bear with me. This is again a fresh trial data that I have. So I'm presenting this year's 2023 data. So be with me and we will cruise. Yes, we have two different species of flea beetles. I'm sure everybody knows that we have issues with them. The first one is the black one, that is the crucifer, that is the most dominant one or the most abundant one in our area. And the second one is the striped one. This is the nasty one, which we don't want. Fortunately, we don't have many of them, but these populations are increasing. Keep an eye on them. That's what we keep telling you every year. Luckily, 2023 season, this is my personal observation, is like I've been trapping these beetles like very early in the season, and I've noticed this year it's the crucifers are the majority ones, and I didn't see many of the stripes. They are there, but not as many as I hoped or expected or was scared of finding them. So these are the three questions I've been asked over the years. First one is, do seed treatments work, or are they even worth the cost? And then which, if at all the seed treatments work, which one is the best? And the third one is completely like, do they even want to go for it? Can they just use the foliar spray and be done with that? So to answer these questions, we conducted trials at 4 different locations. 3 of them in North Dakota and 1 in Minnesota. That is those trials are we compared different seed treatments with the fungicide check and different foliar sprays with a fungicide and a seed treatment check. So these are the 2 trials we conducted in the year 2023, and so those are the locations we have. I'm not presenting the Minnesota data here, so it's just North Dakota data, all the 3 locations together. So we had the planting dates because of the late season. We started off late because of the snow, and then it was so dry. Mid-May to late May was our planting time, and harvest dates were anywhere from August to September. So these are our seed treatments. This is a lot of text on the screen, but I will explain it to you. So we had the fungicide check and Helix vibrans. Helix vibrans is the neonicotinoid. So we had that one, and then a premix of a neonic with a diamide or a butenolide, which is a lumiderm or Fortenza and buteyostat. So a combination of a neonic and one of the lumiderm or buteyostat and Fortenza at different concentrations. The yellow ones, you don't find them commercial. The first one is the one that you can purchase. These we just tested if there is any advantage of using higher rates. So that's neonic alone, premix of neonic, diamide and butenolide, and a fungicide check. And then the third group is we have a combination, a premix of a neonic and lumiderm or fortenza and butyostat, and the next other one is a foliar spray. So these are the three groups. Okay. So these are the this is the rest of the treatments. So like I said, Helix and Prosper, they are the two neonicotinoids, thiamethoxam and clothianidin. And the second group is the new groups. They are the diamides and the butanolides. So see, over like more than like 15 years, we've been relying mostly on neonics, right? We've been using them as seed treatments, and we overuse them. And now, at least we have two different groups, cyanotenilprol and butanolide. Those are the two different groups. You see the numbers, 28 and 40. So different group numbers. So we have different chemistries that we could use instead of just relying on the neonics. And last one is, sorry. The last one is the bifenthrin that we used as a foliar spray. That is not the seed treatment. So, okay. So these are the population of the flea beetles was both mixed, like that is, we had some stripe and the majority of them were crucified. And then we did the feeding or rated the injury of the flea beetles on day 3, day 7, 10, and 14 days after emergence. And then the scale we used for rating the injury was 0 to 6, where 0 is no bits, and gradually it increases, and 6 is plant is completely dead. So that was the rating scale we used. So let's see. So since we had almost 14 different treatments, we can't present all the data here. So I would first start, we started like, I told you that in the premixes, we used different concentrations, right? Like we used certain higher concentrations just to see if they had any advantage. So this is just the premixes. And we wanted to see if there is any advantage of using a higher concentration than what is available commercially. And you can see these are the ones that are highlighted are the commercially available ones. And these are the higher concentrations. So do you see any difference between low concentration and higher concentration? Don't see much, right? So they're pretty much acting similar, and even in the yield, there was one peak up, but rest of them are pretty much similar. So there is no added advantage of using a higher concentration of lumiderm or fortenza or butyostat. So the ones that are commercially available, they work better, or they are good enough. Okay, now since they didn't show any significant increase, we eliminated them from our data, and then now I'm presenting those three groups: only neonic, premix plus foliar spray. So you can see all the Helix, Prosper, those are the first bars. Second is premix of neonic and lumiderm or fortenza or butyostat, and then with a foliar spray. So you see those three. This is 3 days after emergence. This is the fungicide check. Do you see any difference between the seed treatments? Which one do you think is doing good after 3 days? Is doing good. Combination, premix, and foliar sprays, they're doing good. This is after 7 days. What do you notice after 7 days? Is the injury increasing? Right? The bars are going up. So no matter whatever is the seed treatment, the flea beetles are still feeding on them. And compared to the check, yes, they have lower feeding, but there is still feeding going on, right? But seed treatments are still lowering that injury. Now this is 10 days after emergence. You can see still the injury levels are going up and up, right? But not still significantly lower than a fungicide check. Now this is after 14 days after emergence. You can see these beetles are relentless. They keep eating. But our seed treatments, so the black ones are the yield bars. Now you tell me whether is it worth using seed treatments or not, and compared to the fungicide check. No seed treatment at all. This is your yield, and that is all the seed treatments. Whether you use just one or a premix. The third one is using a foliar spray. That is the best one. Using a premix of 2 different active ingredients of seed treatments and then using a foliar spray. That is the best in our data, providing higher yields, and also you see when you draw a correlation between injury levels and the yield, there is a strong correlation. Like with the increase in the beetles injury, the yield goes down. So the best in our data is premix of 2 active ingredients plus a foliar spray if needed. That is the best. If you have beetles keeping on feeding, you have to use the foliar spray. But there are some people who can just get away with using the seed treatments. They don't have to use the foliar spray. That's good too. And there are some people in some places, I would say, like location also makes a difference. There are some people whom I know, they just get away with just a neonic single active ingredient. It's just like the time they plant or the location, everything makes a difference that they don't have that much beetle pressure. So everything boils down to the economics, right? Like whether this treatments are worth or not. And here you have the market value of the crop, yield, the seed treatment cost, foliar cost, and the total cost. So this is a breakdown. And at the bottom, we had, for comparison's sake, we got the data from the foliar trial and used here just 1 spray of bifenthrin without the seed treatment and 2 sprays of bifenthrin. This is for comparison. I had the economics here. So let's see. This is like no seed treatment. This is just neonic, using just the neonicotinoid. Like net increase is still you can make $113. Better than not using anything. Then you go down. Using 2 Helix and Potenza is 155, but using Helix, Potenza, and going for a foliar spray at $275 net increase. So it's like they had higher yields, even though you have to add more costs, but you made more yield that it compensated and made more profit. It's the same thing, like always 2 active ingredients and a foliar spray yielded the best. And this data is a combination of all 3 locations I'm talking about. However, if you compare just by spraying 1 spray of bifenthrin, it yielded good too and made a good profit. And if you do it twice, that was almost very similar to using the 2 active ingredients of seed treatment. However, do you have time going out and spraying at the time of planting season? That's up to you. But this is what we see is it is always good to use the seed treatments. These are our first line of defense, because personally, when I was doing the trial this year, I was so scared that I will lose my trial, because The day that I started, we planted the trial on May 22nd, and it was so dry, nothing was coming out of the soil. I waited. A week later, so finally they started popping out of the ground. Around this time, I went to check the beetles, like are they coming and feeding? So I went and I looked around, and so I saw the beetles like nibbling at them. A few beetles. I was like, okay, they are out there. I have to. This was like my foliar spray, not for the seed treatment, but for the foliar spray. So like, yeah, this is time I need to go and spray. The second day morning, I was out there right at around 9 a.m. with my sprayer and everything. I couldn't find a seedling. They were gone. I was so surprised and I was so scared that I would even have a trial to evaluate. But since it was so dry, there were only a few of them that came out and that they got them. But then when the rains came, they got other flushes and I had the trial. So, but flea beetles can decimate your crop overnight. That is how bad they can be. And you don't have much time unless you are ready with your sprayer and you're looking for, like, as soon as they pop out of the ground, you're there to spray them. Then I think you can get away with not using a seed treatment. However, if you want a little window of time to finish all your planting and then you can come back and take a look at them, that seed treatment will give that amount of time. Will save the plant. And also, the more you protect the seedling with the two cotyledons, the stronger the plant will grow faster. Because I have seen, like in the foliar spray trial, because we use naked seed, no seed treatment, we sprayed. However, the beating that they got from the beetle injury, that it took so long for them to come out of that injury and grow. And I'll show you in the pictures, like they look awful. So, like I said, like if you have relentless or heavy flea beetle pressure, you might want to go for a foliar spray. You have to, otherwise you can't save your crop. And that's a sad situation in our area because of tremendous populations of flea beetles. So this is the foliar trial that I'm talking about. We checked all the insecticides that are recommended for flea beetles in North Dakota. The only one we did that is not a recommendation is a Vantacor. This chemical works very well on grasshoppers. We just wanted to test how they will do on the flea beetles. And so again, a huge number of them, they all fall into the same pyrethroid. All of them are in the same group. And the new group diamides are Exeril and Vantacor. So we tried. So yeah, I know this is a busy slide, but the thing I want you to look at it is like how the first two, this one is the fungicide check, no seed treatment, just a single seed treatment, that is Helix. And then these are all the foliar sprays, all chemicals that we checked. Do you see any difference? They are all over the place, but what we noticed is there isn't much difference. There isn't any significant difference between the foliar sprays. So like all products worked fine. So you can see the yield, not much difference. All products, they worked good. So that's our message is most pyrethroid insecticides and Exeril had the lower feeding injuries when compared to the Vantacor. But otherwise, all the products that are labeled for flea beetles in North Dakota, they work fine. However, bifenthrin applied twice had an advantage of yield. It yielded a little bit more. So in our area, if 2 times the spray is a must, if you see flea beetles, even They started in May, second week of May, and I saw them until June 30th. They were feeding. Because there are populations that keep coming, or So it is a big problem in our area. And if we come back to those three questions, seed treatments are worth the cost in our area. I would definitely recommend using the seed treatments because they will give you that window of time for you to come back and spray, and will help the seedling to establish itself, especially the dry year we had this year. I thought on one hand, they are getting beaten up by the flea beetles, and on the other hand, they didn't have any moisture to recover. So in that period, I thought seed treatments did really help. And then the second one is, which one is the best seed treatment? Definitely, I wouldn't rely on neonicotinoids because we overuse them, and now they are not holding up well compared to the newer products we have. So the newer products we have, they are not available all by themselves. So they come in combination with one of the neonicotinoids. So use those premixes if you can. They are better, especially Buteostart is much better than the others. The other one is seed treatments or foliar spray. This is I cannot definitively answer this question because if you are growing only canola and you have a few acres, and if you are there, you're done with your planting and you're waiting for the crop to come out of the ground and you're ready with your sprayer, just go for the foliar spray. Don't use the seed treatments. You can spray whenever you see the injury. However, if you are a busy farmer, you have more acreage to when you're finished with canola, you move on to the other crop, planting that, and you don't have time to come back. Seed treatments are a must. So they provide you that a window at least for 7 or 10 days that they protect the seedling, and the seedling will be more vigorous and it grows faster compared to the not using any seed treatment. And so this is the difference I was talking about. These pictures were taken on June 30th. This is at Langdon. The left side is the seed treatment, and the right side is the foliar spray. They both were planted on the same date, and see how different they are. At one point, I thought I was so scared I will lose the entire trial because I didn't see any plants there. However, they are much progressing faster, and even the harvest time, the swathing date was a week earlier compared to the foliar price, because this took at least a week more to mature. So thanks to our collaborators and the Northern Canola Growers Association for funding this. If you have any questions,